Welcome to Present Masks. Today we have a man who made major moves, turning his investment for his minimum investment into $1 million. Now, before we get into this, only 50% of my viewers from X and YouTube are subscribed to the channel. Guys, we're in the middle of arguably a long bear market. I would appreciate your support and would love to get up to 60 to 70% of my viewers to subscribe. If you know anyone, by the way, with an amazing story and in our digital and physical collecting journey, or if you have one, feel free to reach out. Now, without further ado, I welcome Grubah.
What's going
Grubah,
on?
how's it going?
Good. How you doing? Thanks for having
Hey,
me
how's it
on.
going, man?
Good.
Thanks for coming on.
Happy
it's
to be here.
wow, it's lovely to finally see you, man. Like first time I think for me.
Definitely. Long time coming. I know we've been trying to get this on the books for a while. So I'm happy we finally got to do it.
Perfect, man. Yeah, no, so dude, like when you first told me about um like just that amazing story, um first off, before we get on to like how you did it, do you want to tell us a bit about yourself? How did you get to NFTs? You're collecting because it looks like you got a bunch of like jerseys at the back there, and like you're collect like a physical collector yourself, it looks like.
Yeah. The journey to the digital world was kind of an accident. I feel like almost like a broken record, but yeah, as you can see, I love the Lakers. I love Kobe. I've collected a lot along the way, and then I think we were all thrown into this digital world. During COVID, right? Everyone was
Mm,
home. Everyone had funds. They couldn't spend it on anything, and lo and behold, here's um, crypto creeping up to everyone, and then the NFT started rolling. And I think just sitting around, looking, seeing what I could do to generate, income and try something new because I've been in crypto for quite some time,
oh
probably
right.
yeah, full time crypto since like 2016. So I've
Oh
been
wow.
yeah.
So you got
So
your finger on the pulse for like what's trending. Okay.
yeah. So what I saw was a bunch of you know, pictures basically selling on OpenSea, and I just couldn't get down with it, even though it was being traded on blockchains that I love, like Cardano and obviously Ethereum. So I just kind of looked around and I was like, what is out there that people will want, because
Mm,
I've never heard of a Bored Ape before the Bored Apes came out, right?
mm, mm,
So I stumbled upon a group, I think it was on Facebook, a crypto group, and someone said,
mm,
"Hey, have you heard of this company Veve?"
mm,
And it was just like, "Oh, it's kind of like what I'm looking for."
mm,
So I jumped on, I hit the app. I didn't get it in the beginning. I wasn't like, "Oh, this is easy. This makes sense." It took time, and it wasn't actually till I met Silicon that I was like, "Oh, wait, this is that. The mint numbers are this. Oh, it really started to click. The only thing that was really clicking with me in the beginning was the big IP, right?
mm.
Batman.
Batman. Yeah.
Know who Batman is.
Yes, we know who Batman is.
Yeah. So that was kind of what brought me to the digital world.
Wow. Again, welcome everybody. Okay, dude. So, what's the legend then? So, was it when you heard it from Silicon? So, did he did you go and buy as many Todds as him, or did you buy more? And because I know, I mean, I feel like you told me the specifics, but I don't know what you want to share. But was it pretty much you bought a lot from the store in the beginning, and then you actually managed to sell it up, pretty much, right? Almost.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it wasn't like, first of all, I had no idea who Silicon was. Was a random guy in the beginning reaching out,
Right?
making a trade with me.
Oh,
So,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
So I
Oh,
was
a
like,
trade
oh,
where though? Not in Vivi, right? Or
well, it was off because at the time when I first joined Vivi, there was no marketplace.
right. So
So,
like a transfer thing.
right, so
Right. Right.
transfer things between everyone. So, we made the trade and then we kind of just continued to talk, and lo and behold, like a friendship was formed. And
Mm,
then I remember it pretty well. He's like, "You got more than one device, right?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Get other devices." I said, "Oh, okay." And then we just started going crazy tapping on the store for Todd, but
mm,
it was not necessarily Todd that uh, was the prize at that point. Rizzo, the Rizzo Batman was the one that everybody wanted, and I could tell you my first Rizzo cost me $6,000, and I just bought one 2 days ago for $900.
So
So
I remember that because I think when I joined, Todds just sold out, and I was like, damn. And then I remember the secondary trading price; it was around $500, right? Remember when it was being traded
300.
300 to 500. Okay, I bought my first for 500, and then I think I got one for 400.
Yeah, it makes more sense. That's more how it goes.
um, yeah, man. Let's unpack that. So, what happened there? Were you just actively going? Yeah, because I think we all have to recover from the shell shock of what's happened and how it's like kind of went up and then went like we're probably talking now in the middle of like the coldest bear market ever. Like it's back down to where it is pretty much. Todd's are around back down to around 500. I mean, what's your thoughts on that? Like on just that whole crazy ride? Like, what do you think? Um, do you think it was just like the hype, the bull, the money, and then I guess the gems, like and the bad actors that combined together? Do you think it was just like a cocktail of all that? What were your thoughts like as you saw it trickle up? What were you doing, and how did you switch up, and when did you go right? I'm out. Um, you know.
Well, I mean, look, the reality is that a lot of what VV was built on in the beginning, it's called the Wild Wild West. There was no rules,
Mm,
right? There was no precedent set. No one knew what was happening. So it was
no.
kind of like a learning game for everybody.
Mm,
Uh, and I think that, yeah, the bull run that we saw before in VV was probably um, there was a large contribution from bots and the money, and how can we essentially scam Vivi, because that's what happened. Vivi got scammed, I think, for like $8 million in gems. Like
mm,
that's not chump change, especially in the time where they're growing.
mm,
um, so yeah, I think a lot of that did fuel the last bull run, but I also feel like with the tweaks that have been made to their system and to, I mean, let's face it, they haven't really done any marketing. So this is all word of mouth.
mhm,
Um, what happens when they start marketing? I think that the people coming in are going to supplement all those bots that were, buying the bulk, right?
mhm,
And it'll just be more evenly distributed out. I think Vivi will figure out much sooner rather than later who the bots really are, if not already, and they're going to tighten up the bolts. And when doing that, that should leave um, more scarcity on the market for specific early collectibles.
mhm.
We're hoping for the lockup of Spider-Man Con. So
So I just want to say hi to everyone that's here. So Grubah, I think let's go and dive into some of the things that you shared with me. So I just want to share it with its with the stream really. Your stack really. So yeah, like I said, you made this much, and now you're restacking, and you're like level 99, right?
I should be crossing into 100 during Comic Con, which I will be at. So if anyone's there, I'd love to meet you in person.
Oh, perfect. Everyone's gonna know you now. Yeah, man. And I know you've been on uh, other streams too, so pretty much. But the guys that were with me, I guess. Yeah. So this is a crazy amount of MCP points. And yeah, just stacks, collectibles, comics, craziness. Right. Well, let's see them like in particular, like the highlight reel, as they say. Um, yeah. So 41 Todds. Um, so yeah,
So it's
accumulating.
actually it's 42 Todds out. Before we got on the stream, Todd dropped. You said it was in the 500s. I got one at 478. So now we have 42.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you've even managed to kind of snipe one.
Yeah.
42. 42 Todds. Out of date. I made this yesterday. Um, but hey, here we are. First, first Batman on chain, right? So
Batman on the
first,
blockchain.
first Veve&NFT. So interesting. Very
Yeah,
controversial piece, actually. But
it
we won't.
is.
Yeah.
It is. But look, I want to at least get back to 55, which is what I bought from the store. So that is my goal. I was also chasing Sill, so uh, I'm hoping that he's appreciating that still.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, we'll definitely get on to Sil because this is pretty much like every time I see this Todd, I think of Sil. So yeah, he's very much like and the Pirates video that I've seen him in. It's very inspiring, man. So yeah, this is what I hope. I hope you can now almost carry on the torch as well and carry on inspiring people. Because we're having fun too, right? So
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
very
I don't,
addictive stuff.
I don't think I could fill those shoes. He was, pretty damn special. And I'm not sitting here saying that I'm trying to even fill those shoes, but
Mm,
we are all on a journey together.
mm,
And, we got the VV fam, we got the Cow fam,
mhm.
it's, one common denominator is we are a fam. So
Yeah.
very
See,
important.
it's great that you mentioned that, and we'll talk more about Silicon and his message. Well, what he wanted to come on to my stream before and do. Um, and yeah, it's made magnitudes of impacts. Like, I think even DCNFT was paying attention with their latest drop, right? So the 423. So even made a homage to VV there. So yeah, man. A lot of people come from VV, and even still, like I go for drops. I can't. Unfortunately, I'm not as liquid as I was during the bull market, but still there, still lurking
Absolutely.
around.
We're all there. We're all there lurking, waiting.
Yeah. So I guess 53 Spidey comments. I guess you have this because is it that strategy of like I guess when the masses come they'll want to go for I guess the common and the stance as well. So what's the logic behind
Well,
this one?
it's like the same concept with Todd, right? Todd was the common, Todd is the first.
Hmm.
While the coveted secret rare with only 1,000 editions is awesome, and I do have two. This is more on the theory that we keep talking about Syl, but he was so influential in my collecting.
Mm,
His theory that like there's not as many of these Spider-Men as you think. There was a
mhm,
lot of malice going around on VV with these, and they're probably a lot of them are locked up forever, and they're never going to see the light of day.
mhm,
So I'll give another shout out to Fam. I don't know if he's on watching or not, but Matty Boom Boom from the VV Army, he helped me kind of not change my approach, but really look at what my approach is. And he always preaches popularity, scarcity, and relevance, right? So this is the first Marvel collectible on VV, and it's Spider-Man. You can't can't
no,
do that.
I remember when that came out. Um, and the funniest thing is, I remember. Oh gosh, remind me of his name. Ray Fixie. He kept buying from the store. I remember that, man, and I was like, and he was just like, I can't stop buying. I can't remember. I remember that, and I think it was over at Telegram because that was the closest thing to Twitter, like back then, the Telegram.
Right.
um, the VV official Telegram, and he was just like, I keep buying, I keep buying, and it's so funny. That's all I can remember when this collectible comes out. But yeah, no, truly a classic, and yeah, man, you can't take away that first, man. Like, at least like well, not for this one. This is like probably undisputed, but at least like from what we can see, it's definitely the first, like for sure.
Right.
Um, Okay. Oh, okay. This one, I think my collectibles gonna enjoy this one. He's on stream now, but yeah. 66 AF-15s. I mean, what a wow! Like we're talking like comics, right? Like digital comics. Can it get better?
I mean, I don't think it gets better than this, and I actually call this one my retirement plan. Like this was
Okay.
stacked specifically for that. and I didn't go for the secret rares, just like with the Spider-Man. I didn't think
Are you
that,
leaving that to Mr. Squeebs? Are you?
but like I just, and
Sure.
again, it's the SIL philosophy, right?
Mm.
Liquidity, liquidity, liquidity.
Mhm.
So a common is much easier to move than it is a secret rare. And in terms of the comic, this is the original. This is what, whoever is going to be buying my digital collectibles as a true fan of someone who wants to have this, and they might even have, they want to pair it to their physical that they have encased and cannot even read.
Mhm.
In my mind, this is what they're going to want. So again, it's a long-term hold. I don't see it happening overnight.
No.
It has performed quite like Todd, though, in the bear market. I will point out, not many collectibles or comics did, and this one did. And this one was also doing it all during the bear market because it wasn't released until the bear market, right?
Right. So it's
Or
born in the bear market almost.
it's
Yeah.
born. So we don't really know what it's going to do yet, but I
No.
can only imagine, and I'm sure some people will agree that this is what people want.
Well, the interesting thing is, obviously, I did a post once on the Batman one arm, and someone highlighted the web that's around here. And it's subsequently, I've been made to watch about 4 or 5 different YouTube videos from prominent VV influencers, and I mean they summarize it perfectly. Really, this is you're buying almost a license. There's 10,000 of them, a license to display in AR, and whatever else. That's what you're buying this for the first time in the blockchain and digital format. So essentially, people get hung up a lot on appearance, because that's pretty much what they look like on your phone when you scroll, right? So, but yeah, no, epic piece. Definitely, definitely up there. Okay, and you've got some fun sets as well.
Yeah, this is more of like when I first started understanding of like low mints, trying to match them. So I figured I'd throw this one in. First of all, the Dragon Girl was probably arguably one of the most beautiful early pieces on the app.
Mhm.
Um, so I really tried hard to match them, but I was not able to do that. So I figured the consecutive order was kind of cool. And then the first set of ladies on the blockchain really is right here. So I
Mhm.
uh, I figured the right thing to do was match them up. Um, so nothing really special, more of just like I have other ones. I think I showed you of some Batman, and more recently, I try if I can, but I'm not breaking the bank on it right
Mhm.
now because I think those type of people coming to the app are not here yet. People that are willing to buy the sets like this.
Yeah, I mean, I remember hitting the Dragon Girl ultra rare, and I remember reselling it. And dude, like, there is no way in history where you click a button, and there's not many people like that are quick enough clicking the buy now because it wasn't even a blind box back then.
Nope.
So I managed to get it and resell it for like over $1,000, and it was like, what the hell, like, and that's like magic, almost magic internet money, right? Almost. And those are like the stories where you kind of think, well, is this why, when we look back and think, okay, did we actually think it was going to last forever? It felt like it was, right? Because that bull run was on the rise for about 6 months or so. Like, it was crazy, like the hype was unreal, and more people kept piling on. But yeah, man, but not to say, like, just the experience of it and just the possibilities of it, man. Like, um yeah, and these collectibles take, usually physical collectibles take years. And even like, as like, when Superman 1 first came out or something like that, like, they were not, no one like knew what they were going to be, when they first come out. So for us to kind of expect instant value after a drop, it's crazy, it's addictive, but it's kind of like, but people are starting to learn, I guess. But definitely for low mints, I would say, and matching mints, I think it's more of the hunt, and I guess personal, because someone's birthday, or something that they actually attune to, like 1 2 3 4 or whatever. You'll always find a home for those. um what I find interestingly. Maybe not as much overpay as it did, but yeah, interesting. Okay. And this one, I remember the hype going up with this.
It ended up being pretty ugly in terms
Yeah.
of the collectible itself, but it's the same philosophy: scarcity, popularity, Star Wars. I mean, Luke. This is a grail, in my opinion. The fact that it's sitting, I think, at 900 or 1,000 is kind of like shocking. I think I need to go add one soon.
Make that a solid 10.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, and then finally, yeah, just the 1962 Todd that you got from Silicon, which is special to you, right? Never leaving your
Yeah.
inventory.
Yeah. I wasn't born in 62.
I was gonna say you look good for your
But
age.
it was the last trade that we made, and I'm only doing it because we talked about how we will talk about SIL, and it's a special piece. I know Rolex got the other year mint that he was selling at that point, so um, yeah.
Now I'm actually trying to find some of the cows that you have as well. But there is a ton of them. Um, you have about 30, right? Almost
I think 36 total.
36.
Yeah. Every 52 days is fun. It's like
do,
Christmas.
do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna well, I'd say I share my screen. There is something sensitive here.
Make sure you close that first.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, no. What I'll do is I'll just make a new slide here and just add them up because obviously like we've got your favorite here, which is
The rebreather, baby.
yeah, man. I mean, it's gonna start to get a bit crazy. Yeah, yeah.
While you're doing this, I'll help you out here, fill in some air. Uh, I really thank and credit this whole Palm community for helping me understand, what the Cowls were and what could be worth more, and even trading with me. Bear market's a bear market. I'm sure they're worth less than I paid today, and that's totally fine because I'm of the philosophy that you know buy the bottom, buy the top. It doesn't matter. There'll be another top. You know what I mean? You have to have diamond hands in this kind of world. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I think arguably some of the like rarer pieces that you have will just be that, like, because there isn't really another rebreather apart from probably a Diggs that's sometimes being listed, but I know he's not listed out anymore, and that's the testament of how scarce some of these things are. So, for example, okay, so these are probably flourish type. Although you do have a Laker cow here, which means
that was
I will.
I think it was one of my first ones too.
So I know for a fact that you had this menacing. So I remember chat. Grubah came into one of my like just a chat that I hang around with and vent, and he came in and I think it was after the Pirates vid, and um, he came in right, and I think it was on the Superman one after Superman one, and he just had this profile pic. He bought like your favorites, the radioactive green, right? This one.
Yes.
Um, and it's just a menacing thing, and he just kept buying, chat. Like, I'm not gonna lie, he just kept on buying and buying, and I was just like, oh my god, this guy is hungry. So I'll just point out like what's in here. So obviously this is a rebreather. Probably trade around, even in this market, probably around 7K up to 9, but I would say right around 7 it would probably sell. We've got like these like badass metallics, like really, really like aesthetic and almost twinning these two. Um, this it's already to zoom in. Yeah. So this one actually is rare as hell. I don't know if Choki's around. You can tell me how many have a bat shock. Not many. I think there's 5 or 6 of the bat shocks. So like fucking stupid rare. That one's a Batman logo. Now, Grubba, like I'll just open your eyes to what could be possible. Like, so you think about matching physical merch, matching material gears for crafting. I know that you might have had a bit of a well, not really a leak, but I know a member of the team was asking around what do we think about crafting, and you know, needless to say, like you've got like some sexy materials like the Batman logo, the Riddler. Some of these are like one of nine. These are one of six or seven for Riddler or eight. I can't remember now. Six, I think, in total. So a lot of stuff that one's a Grebel, like kind of brainiac looking. Some of these materials are you're gonna love. So yeah, I think yeah, watch, wait, and see what's gonna happen.
Absolutely.
Like for DCNFT in particular. Um, so where are we gonna go? Okay, so all right, so just to recap, so you say um mostly you go for liquidity, so like sort of stuff from the floor.
Well, no. So like what I mean by liquidity is if they're like in VV, there's the common, right? Or even in the Palm world, they have the common. Now, I haven't really done too much of it in the Palm world yet,
Mhm.
but like in VV, it's very clear that the common is most representing the original.
Mhm.
So that's kind of the philosophy that I take if I want to stack something, right?
Yep.
But lately, VV has kind of like gotten more hip to understanding that supply and demand exists in this. So, like the secret rares will be something that I'll target if there is a high popularity and it's definitely scarce and like there's something relevant about it.
Mhm.
I will definitely get into that. Um, but the strategy kind of changes as this market changes, right? As we continue to like push through on the bear market, you can't
Yeah.
just have, right? Because dollar cost averaging, if you're bought, last week and the market is more down today, you should be buying more because dollar cost average works both ways, right?
Mhm.
Um, can't get down on yourself if you bought something for $100 more last week. You have to buy it again this week. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
yeah, I try to follow as many strategies as I can when I see something shifting, or if I'm like, yo, this bear market is looking even worse, and we're going to be in it longer, which unfortunately we are, and that's why prices are dropping even more.
Mhm.
Um, I dollar
Mhm.
cost average. That's what I've been preaching since I joined VV, and everyone who wants to talk to me wants to talk about something. It's always going to be DCA. Never put yourself in a position to have to wait for the money to come back. Always get closer to so when it does come, you'll be there faster.
I have a question for you. How do you what do you do in the first time, like after like you like something hype gets minted? What do you look for to kind of see what you're gonna do? Or do you go obviously do your own research on how popular it is in real life, or do you just get a gut feel for some things?
No, I'll do my research. I definitely need to be, you know, um, well educated before I throw my money at something, right?
Hmm.
It can't just be high risk and all the time and not do your research.
Hmm.
But um, you got to have a high level of tolerance for risk when you're investing. And if you have that, you won't be the ones kicking and screaming and crying when the market goes bare and cold and everything goes to crap like we've seen with. I mean, I haven't seen it so much with the back cow community. They seem to be pretty level headed. No
Mm.
offense, EV fam, I love you guys all, but there are some bad apples that
Mm.
really went after VV hard on social media and spaces, and even tagging them, and those are the kind of people that they're just not meant for bear markets, and they're not meant for being for collecting really.
Mm. Yeah, I mean that's interesting because I talked to a guy who's quite, he's got tons of subscribers. I'm not going to name him, but he was pretty much like I think the audience itself is whether you talk about obviously some people would associate themselves more with VV, and some like myself, like I went full hard on this DCNFT project, but ultimately, like, we swim around the same seas. Like, it's pretty easy to just go for this drop and that drop, and collect in both platforms. I think it's just like one of those things people do to entertain themselves. And also, it's like the level of competitiveness has really gone up, recently with the platforms. I'm talking like IPs, being everywhere else, and not having that. I mean, Vivi always has the first mover, but
Right.
I think it's yeah. Right now, the landscape is like shifting everywhere, like, and as you can see, like, even Rika with Hello Kitty went bust. Like, that's like craziness, man. Like, we're literally like in this kind of survival mode. Um and you know and it's almost like when I
There's a light. There's a light at the end of this tunnel. We
yeah,
have
sure.
major branded IP. We have things that people we know already like to collect. We're
Yeah.
not, we're not holding on to, Eminem and making a Bored Apes music video using his ape to promote the apes. Um, I feel like that ship might have sailed. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe some of the stuff will come back. Um, but I feel that the big brands, the names you trust,
Hmm.
um, Disney. Who doesn't trust Disney? I mean, they take care of the early movie viewing of all of our children worldwide. It's in every country. It's not. It's a trusted brand. So. I think that we're going to see some big things in Palm. I think we're going to see some big things in Vivi, and I think that we are in this bear market. It sucks. Everyone's seeing it. It's not going to end anytime in the
True.
near short-term future. Uh, but you will find, like, what they call Easter eggs along the way. And if you're smart and you keep your finger on the pulse, you'll be all right at the end of this.
What is your tip for someone who, okay, let's go to, like, let's say if you're someone with a lot more money than like your regular Joe, what would you, I'm gonna call them whales, right? But what would you give someone with that? And then we'll go to the regular guy, I guess, at this stage. What do you think?
Is this a first-time person never seen Vivi before or Palm?
um yeah, I think yeah, let's say that.
So be careful first and foremost, because I made that mistake in the beginning. Everyone knew I had tons of Ethereum and I was willing to spend it, and I should have done a way better job of hiding. Made different accounts, on Telegram, and really, hid myself. But ultimately, blockchain is blockchain. Wallets are wallets, and you'll find someone smart enough. They'll parse the data out and they'll tell you who's doing what. So just be careful. Find people you trust uh,
Hmm.
to bounce ideas or whatever off of. And again, always dollar cost average. Never sell at a loss. They know that they're whales. That's why they're whales. Um, and just be careful, because there are definitely people who are looking to take advantage.
Absolutely. But I would say though is, when they do that, they'll never deal with him again. Almost, right? It's almost like trust.
That's
Trust is. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is nothing here where what you do or what you say is not gonna come back and bite you. So,
right.
um, that's
That's
what I've
true.
learned anyway, in this
But
space.
the funny thing is you say that, and in this particular case with Vivi, they all became my friends. So it was like a old master collector chat where you had to have, I think at the time, it was like 11 sets to be in, like allowed in or something. And they all became my friends, but I was like, wait, these are all the people selling to me. What's going on here? The invite. Yeah, one guy was like, look, I felt bad. We were definitely, selling me 10 Todds at a time at 300 a piece, but I was stacking, so it didn't matter.
I
But
don't believe I've sold you anything actually, which is good.
yeah, on,
Um,
on Palm, I don't list really much of anything. So
yeah, I think I help. Well, I think people in the chat that we share sold to you. But yeah, like I said, who knows what this will go. That was like the main hype really at that time. But yeah, I mean, I want to see a return of that fun era, man. Like, I think you'll never. The funny thing is, I haven't seen a cow being floored, like a nice cow being floored for months. Like,
I think
like literally floored.
the
I
last time
think.
they were pouring them was when I was buying them. It was who was it? It was remember I was buying them all off. You guys were telling me, oh, that's who Palm was working with. They got a whole bunch of them.
Oh,
I,
that's 3D. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, I didn't even realize it in the beginning. They just had the nicest ones. I just
yeah,
kept
yeah,
buying
yeah.
them. And then they stopped listing them. Like it was like, wait, are we doing something wrong? So yeah, very very different time now. I hope we
Yeah,
get
yeah,
back to
fun
that time.
times. I mean, I think even now, like that's the thing. Like, I would throw $280 or whatever is the floor now, if someone puts in something really nice. But no one's done it. I think it's been done once in the last 2 months or and more. So people, I think, know what they have now. What would be interesting for me is if what would they do to kind of, I hate this the word value because DC's kicked it out of me. But I would say, like, what would how would you bring value to, now? This wasn't planned, but how would you bring value to the floor cows, for example, or I would say how would you make it more desirable? I think if we find a way to extract materials out of them for crafting, and then craft new ones, for example, like the materials that haven't been made before. I mean, that will be a race, and then, like, when the cows are listed, you can say, okay, all right, so that one has one extracted from it, and then I was thinking, like, the next one will be in after a year, so people won't just floor it. They'll have, over time they'll have it. I mean, I don't have any problems with, with the future of cows, but I was just thinking, like, you know people want to remix these things, people want to, create new things. I've seen like crafting mechanisms over at VV as well.
Yeah.
Definitely an evolution, of what we're seeing so far.
Right, and
Okay.
that's like kind of falls into us being in uncharted waters. Like, okay, we made it here. What's next? Well, it's kind of like the sky's the limit, right? With AR, like it really is the sky's the limit.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I mean, I agree with you. There is so much potential with all these materials and crafting. I think you guys were all joking. You're like, oh, 52 days, you're getting your bat suits, right? I would, yeah, I would love to match these up and throw them out in the AR and kind of show my stuff, right? I mean, what marketing has Palm done? Have they done any marketing either yet, or is it just like Vivi, kind of all word of mouth?
um I know that DC official posted up a tweet, but when you're talking, like, see, this is the funny thing, right? We've had, I wouldn't say speculation, but people have been hoping that, these cows would be given to Christian Bale, and, to, like, to all the actors that played Batman. I'm thinking we might not even need that. Like, I'm saying that because I feel like the strongest suit, funnily enough, is not Superman 1. It's not Batman 1. Although those are like juggernauts when we compare it to, like, every YouTube stream will be, every YouTube guy, every influencer will be like, okay, this is the real world value. This is the amazing. But I think what we're seeing right now with the legacy cow, I don't know if you've done any votes and stuff like that, but it's, the villain, like the AI villain that we have that come out. It's just that, and then they've, okay, some, I don't want to do some spoilers, but go and read chapter 3. But it looks like the cows are positioned to, to take what the speculation is, like, broadside will have, like, each of our cows bound inside those, if we combine, like, the books together, you can have like a one of one book. And
Right.
like, having physical cows and merch, because I think Jim Lee, they were saying Jim, one of the guys, was in the last Comic-Con. He was there, right? And Jim Lee was up on stage, and he mentioned, "Oh, where's my back cows?" And then there was like one guy wearing "Hey," and like no one knows what the heck it means, right? Like, they're like, "What the heck is he talking about?" But I think it'll be different if, like, Jim Lee hoists up a physical back cow with a physical legacy cow. They'll be like, "What? What is this storyline?" And only
Right.
the people that are in this project know this storyline, right? If it then hits like mass printing, and then you get one of one bucks at the back with your cow, like I think things will be different. I think it's all about timing. And we've seen the same phygital from well, actually come to realize over at Vivi. I think that's the funny thing is like just that bridging that gap between, and there are so many people with money, and not even money. I just say just the amount of people that just do this for fun. They're about to find out, like, this whole side of the game. So I mean, without a fact, like without a shadow of a doubt, right now, I think I'm going for drops. I'm going light. I'm putting in money in at the moment. I'm not actually actively, like, as you would, unless you hit a good mint right now or you manage to gamble for legendary. I
Right.
think that's the biggest problem that we have as well. I think that my personal take is at this stage you've been preconditioned almost to go for drops, and that's okay. You support that platform and you put a budget in. It's actually very minimal. If you just go for the drops you like, you'll spend what, 40-50 dollars, right, a month. It's not like a major thing, but
Right.
I think yeah, the things I don't like is when when some encourage you to gamble beyond your means, like almost like open as much as you can or whatnot. So that's the sort of things where and the other interesting take I have is like rewarding collectors. I don't know what your takes on rewarding collectors are, but yeah, I think at the moment engagement should be rewarded. Like people actually encouraging members of the community, like participating in the story, contributing. Um, those are, I think, like are one of the factors that should be rewarded. That's just an interesting take from me. I don't know how we got there. I got lost, but
It's all good,
from
man.
what we're trying to do, but yeah. So what do you want to mention? Anyone in particular that I know we're about to just go into silicon, but anyone in particular that stood out for you so far in your journey?
I mean, there's so many people in this journey. I mean, the whole chat that we have for Palm, that's been my biggest exposure to the group, to the people in the Cal fam. But shout out to the VV Army. Um, you know, Brown Mamba in there. Ed, he was like, remember I told you my story where everyone started figuring out who I am. So I ended up started running deals through him. So he became my middleman, and he was like, he brought me deals, and then he opened up this Discord, and it's actually been, a really positive place even through this bear market, kind of like your chat.
Mhm.
So shout out to all of them, BB Magic, shout out to her, shout out to MC1, Rolex, I mean, everybody. I could go on forever and ever. Like, what is so beautiful about the collecting is like,
Mhm.
okay, that's my hobby, but all these friendships that are forming in a world where like most people
Mhm.
that I know are like, what are you doing? You like playing video games or something? Like, what's going on? You have friends all over now, and like, it's weird, but it's kind of it's become comforting almost, right? Like you have people that get you and what you're doing because nobody wants to hear what I'm saying. Even to this day, I'm like, yo, I did this in Vivi, and they're like, okay, but my explanation to them is usually this: hey, a Babe Ruth baseball card from a long, long time ago is worth a lot of money, and there's not many of them. And then look at this whole card industry that formed because of those early cards that were not even cards; they were box cutouts. You had to cut them off of a box of cereal or a pack of cigarettes or something like that.
Mhm.
Um, so I feel like we're early. We're early in something that nobody gets yet, and the fun of collecting, the fun of the rush of selling and making whatever, it's all great. But the friends that you're making, the family you're making along the way, super crucial.
Of course. Yeah. So let's go and talk about silicon then. Again. So yeah. This has been rough. Obviously. What do you think? Yeah. I mean, because obviously he came over. Um, my channel. I didn't even know he was sick, right? So, um, and he was just a Batman fan, like, just welcomes you with open arms. What else is there to say? It's just the force of nature, really, right? He's very clever. Yeah, and even Palm shouted him out. I know you have I know you got like 12 legendary Todds over at Vivi, right? The fully fixed arm. Is there anything else that we could say that we haven't yet? Um, I guess just unity, right, and peace, and what.
Yeah, I mean, look, Silicon was really big on, branching out into your community, well, now our community, but he brought me there. He was like, there's something more here, and everyone's fighting about who should have what. We're all in the same boat. There's allowed to be competition. Companies can have competitors, and he said, I like both. I think they're both doing great things. And his, I don't want to say his only goal, right? He had a lot of goals, and I don't even know all of them, but I definitely know that he wanted to bridge the violent, bashing of each other, bridge that gap into just kind of, like you said, unity, and knowing that there's cool stuff on both systems, right? That's just how it is. They're the two that got it right. What's someone that had Rugrats?
Nifty.
Recur. Where's Recur? We're all these places that have these licenses that are going down. The ones that are holding strong are the ones I want to be with, and I think Silicon really pushed at least me to understanding that there's something good here and there's something good at Vivi. But beyond that, as a person, I got to know him, and just an amazing human being. Uh, loved his family, loved his kids, just like anybody else who's in that position. Um, and I regret not going to Comic Cons before, which is why I'm telling myself I'm going to every Comic Con. I don't ever not want to hang out in person with these people, with you, with anybody. If I hop over the pond, I'm coming to see you. Um,
Always welcome.
Thank you. And I'm very grateful of the weekend. I shot over there while he was in the hospital, and that was the first time I met him. And I think we went through every round of emotion together. Felt like we had been brothers forever. Hugged, cried, laughed, did drops together. We burned some doors for the booze door, and I wish I had more memories. I will definitely cherish that, though.
Yeah. Okay. So on to some. What would you say you most disliked about, I guess, the two platforms that you're currently in? Is there something here that you think that, say, disliking and then liking?
Well, I feel like both platforms have done a really good job, especially over the last 12 months, of listening to the community and making.
Evolving.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
evolving. They're listening to us now. They know we're part of the journey, and thousands, 30,000, 20,000, whatever the number is for both apps. That's nothing. It's a drop in the bucket for what they're trying to achieve, and they realize that having a good relationship with your community, with your buyer, with your customer, however, your collector, whatever you want to call us, investor, is the right thing. So I used to complain, why did I even really stop buying Cowls, was because I got so frustrated I couldn't get anywhere I wanted to go. I couldn't search my stuff. It was like impossible.
It's actually crazy. We're still talking about this. But yeah, go ahead.
What they've made adjustments, and it's definitely fixed. And same for Vivi. They made a lot of adjustments. Did it take a while to get there? Yes. Was there more time to hem and haw about it, and that's why it seems like it was more magnified? Probably. There's all the futters too. You guys have your own futters. They have their futters. But ultimately, I feel like anything I'm disliking, I'm starting to see change. And when I see change, or at least an attempt, and it fails, I'm okay with that. Programmatically, like how the app works or how the website works, that I have less patience for. But I really feel that they've made big jumps, big leaps to fixing the problems.
Yeah, I think I just like to personally highlight like definitely like the gambling side and the um this UI is king at the moment, right? Like yeah, I think
But,
it's just
but
one of those.
the gambling side, though, I heard you mention it before, and that's why I just kind of want to jump in. The gamble is part of buying any kind of collectible, right? Like, okay, these ones I know what I'm buying, right? They're all numbered. I know there's only going to be this amount, and this is the number I happen to fall upon. But like a pack of cards, you don't know what you're really getting, and so you
Mhm.
buy a box because you want to know if every pack has something. So that's a gamble.
Sure.
So I don't think it's the same. Like it's gambling, yes, but it's not really gambling. It's you're trying to collect the best, and you'll sell off, hopefully, what you can that you didn't want
Mhm.
at all.
Yeah, no, no. It's more of the fact that for example, like I cherish the fact that as it stands, you only get one per account over at DCNFT. Obviously, I dislike the fact that seems like there's a lot of people getting banned and very vocal about it. Like with the credit card issue, and I don't know. It's hard to comment because, as you know, we know stories about someone saying something on Twitter, but actually there's starking evidence that they have done something, right?
Right.
Um, I don't know where we are because I think what I'm trying to get at is enjoy the journey, and you'll be like just be there and collect what you like and you'll be rewarded. I think that's it's in its own reward. Like I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I
um
think I hear you. I hear what you're trying to say. I
but,
think
but trying to chase something ends up, especially in these conditions, man, like Jesus, like it's almost better to kind of go, okay, I'm gonna go slow right now, but at the same time, it's like, is it really the time to go slow? Because when things were going up and up, and we were just holding, when I say we, but because I managed to sell the top of partners, but um,
nice.
hey, thanks, I had a good holiday, but I didn't know that Gems was the play. I
Right.
did USDT, yeah, but you know but now really what I mean, that's the craziest part, right? Now is the time to kind of go for what you like, and there's a lot of fucking steals out there. When I say steals, but like, yeah, I guess it just resonates to that. I don't know, what did you have to?
Yeah, look, you're right. But what do they say? They say uh, money is made in the bear market, right? So if you're buying slowly or at a faster rate, whatever your account allows, um, this is the time to buy. Like I can tell you, I was buying in bulk Todds for $300 a pop. I would buy 10 at a time, no problem. Send them the and we're almost back down to $300 a Todd. So if you do the math here, like when Bitcoin was at 3,000, you should have bought, and then it ran to 20, and you didn't buy it. But now then Bitcoin went back down to 10. And you're like, ha, right? But then it went back to six. Then it went all the way to 65,000 or whatever the all-time high was. You see what I'm saying? Like the right time to buy is now. Is when it's low. Is when there's no hype. You are taking the risk
Mhm.
that people might not come, but they're probably going to come, and they're going to come back, or they're going to come for the first time. Uh, People collect. People want to make money. People want the opportunity. Drops give them that opportunity, whether it's Palm or VV. You got that chance to spend 9 to whatever $20 on a comic, get a legendary, and sell it for hundreds to thousands of dollars more. There's that rush. People want that. You're gonna have a lot of flippers. Flippers will come to the app, no matter what.
Yeah, yeah, it's just crazy. Grub, we're near the end, but and it's flown like hell. I don't even know if we. I feel like we just hang out, which is I didn't really have too much of a structure, but what's your tips for regular folk that don't have as much budget, or like where are we, do you think, and what are you liking with what you're seeing? Like just think, okay, Vivi, and then maybe let's finish there and whatever you like else.
I mean, to people that are new, do your research. It's the same kind of thing that you would say to anybody new, whether you're a whale or a regular person with a small amount of money. Do your research. I want to say buy what you like if you're just looking to buy and hold. But the scarcity, relevance, popularity, all that should be considered, and never go outside your means. Like that. That's just your gambling tip, right? Um, and embrace the community. Because I feel like embracing the community really helps push through the bear market and those days where you're like, this is terrible. You got five other guys, this is great. We're right where we need to be. Todd's at under 500. Let's go. This is huge. So really embrace the community. Find the people. Go to the live events. I think the Comic Cons are in the decons, and I think they're all pretty important. Support the artists anyways who we want to come to this platform. And that's really it. Just enjoy the ride. It's gonna be a ride. You're gonna go up, you're gonna go down, you're gonna go sideways for a while, and it's all normal. It's part of markets.
Awesome. So yeah, I'd just like to probably finish off there and thank you for coming on and hopefully see you again. Feel like this has been chilled. Finally got to see you. After after a while. And yeah, I'd like to thank you.
Right. The future.
Like I said, I'm here, like minting, buying what I like and enjoying, like seeing the companies evolve. We'll see, man. Like, yeah, things are slowly happening, and I think this in terms of staying power, we're gonna be here a while. You know what I mean? So, and it's a perfect point to finish off, like the community. Perfect. Like we're in this together, like in this small group, like
Absolutely, we're all in the same boat, just at different prices.
yeah, sure, and different buying powers, I guess. But yeah, no, thanks for coming on, and thanks for showing us your beautiful collection at the back there. Maybe finish off there as well. I mean, what have you got there, man? Just point out like a couple of things you got there, like.
All right, so down on that side, that's when Kobe went on that run, scoring like 40 plus points, in consecutive games. So it's basically every game in a stat line, signed, numbered. That is from when Kobe wore number 8, the year Chick Hearn died, the Lakers announcer. So I kind of can't see it. There's a black stripe on the jersey, which is representing him, but it became this like double meaning once Kobe died, right? So I really value that's probably. Oh,
no, go ahead. No, I'm here. I'm just focusing.
One of my most coveted pieces, and that's why I put all the major games that I attended, the ticket stubs underneath. So I was at like his 62-point performance in 3 quarters, outscoring the entire Mavericks team by a point. The 81-point game, second most points ever scored in an NBA game, and then the last one is his final performance of 60 points. I was at all of them. Playoff games. I went to Boston, in the Garden during the NBA Finals. I'm a huge Laker fan, and there's a Michael Jordan down there.
Oh yeah,
people call him the GOAT. I don't
know. Yeah. Again, another a heartbreak really with Kobe, but it's great to see, man. It's just oh, that's my phone.
Whoa.
Yeah, I need to turn off. But I'd just like to probably finish off there. Grubah, dude, I'll see you again. Thanks for coming on, dude, and sharing us some words of wisdom. And I'll see you in the next one, hopefully, man. Thank you so much, dude. Yeah, I'll see you around, man.
See you later.